To you live today, and today we're going to be casting West Brom versus Chelsea in the English Premier League. That game's going to get started here in just about 6 minutes. Still waiting for NBC Sports coverage to pick it up, coming from the Everton Crystal Palace game. Do apologize. I know I've already cast Chelsea once. I do try to kind of pick different teams to cast as much as possible, but sometimes the time slots just don't work out for me. I really wanted to cast actually the Everton Crystal Palace game this morning because Everton has looked like a really exciting team this year, which they haven't been for a while. So I'll get around to an Everton game here pretty soon for sure. I definitely want to cast them. I know I cast Crystal Palace last week against Man United. I know I cast Chelsea against Brighton. I know I've cast Brighton twice. I have not cast West Brom yet, so we will get a little bit of a different flavor today, but if you are missing some of the variety or want me to just stream your team in particular, let me know in chat, and I'll try to find a time that works. But it is my goal to kind of get around to every team at some point this season. It just kind of depends on the schedule. I was playing pickup soccer again this morning at 9, so it's a little tough to do the Everton game, and then also doing the Man U game Brighton would have been interesting, but I already cast both those teams, and it's at 6:30, so I know not a lot of people are going to be awake. So we'll be joining you here today for Chelsea West Brom as we look through the lineups for both these teams. So for West Brom, we'll walk through it here, playing with a 5-4-1. Looks like maybe a 3-5-2 in practice. FootMob is showing us a 5-4-1. I'll let you know for sure when I see them coming out into the field. I haven't watched a lot of West Brom. I didn't actually get to see their game against Leeds live. I do know they're shipping a lot of goals. So we'll see how they do today. But as we go through the lineup, Sam Johnston is in goal. We got Darnell Furlong, right wing back or right back. Semi Ajayi, Kyle Bartley, Dara O'Shea making up the back three with Connor Townsend at the left wing back position. Tus Pereira, Jake Livermore, Romain Sawyers, and Grady Diangana across their midfield four. Callum Robinson leading the line today. Over on the Chelsea side, a little bit of a shakeup here. We've got Tammy Abraham starting up top for the Blues. Kai Havertz going to sink back into a 10 role, flanked by Mason Mount and Timo Werner. Looks like Mason Mount's going to start on the left, Timo Werner on the right. I do think those two could switch pretty much at any point in the game, so keep your eyes open for that one. Mateo Kovacic and N'Golo Kante anchoring the midfield, with Marcos Alonso, Thiago Silva making his debut here today. Andreas Christensen and Reece James cross the back four with Caballero heading into goal today in place of Kepa, who was pretty shocking last week against Liverpool. Did give away basically a free goal to Sadio Mane on a pretty huge mistake there in that match. So we already knew that Lampard had been kind of losing faith in Kepa already, and now he is on the bench, and they have brought in a new keeper as well. I believe he has been signed, so expect to see the competition between Caballero and the new keeper here pretty soon. But I would say Kepa's time as the Chelsea goalkeeper is probably at an end here. So 11:27, still waiting for NBC Sports to pick up the stream here, but I do have to say, I know I mentioned this the last time I cast Chelsea. Havertz was put on right wing, and I really disliked that. I thought that was a bit of a weird thing to do for a player like him, to start him at right wing in his first match. I think he'll be much more comfortable in the 10 role. It seems to me to be more of the role he would enjoy after watching him on film. Even if he's fielded on the right, probably wants to come infield, play behind the front line, and try to be creative in that space. So I think this is a lot better. I like Werner is a very versatile player, can play on either wing, can play up top, can play really wherever. So I think playing him on the wing is fine with Mount, and then putting either Abraham or Giroud up top, I think is smart. I think this shape will actually suit Chelsea a lot better. Still have Marcos Alonso out there at left back because Ben Chilwell not fit quite yet, so we will eventually see Chilwell out there. But I do think this team, at least structurally, looks like a better fit for Chelsea. We'll find out today in the play, of course, but it seems to me to be sort of the right idea from Lampard here. So excited to see how they perform. Hopefully Havertz will have a good day today. He has struggled a bit in his first two matches, so be looking for him to kind of step up and deliver today. On the side of West Brom, they have looked like they have a couple good players. I think Matheus Pereira, Grady Diangana, keep your eyes on them. Very creative players. Have been involved in most of their goals so far this season, and they have scored a decent amount already. So the bigger concern just at the back there, just chipping so many goals at this point in the season is a big concern. So they are facing a very tough Chelsea line here. I'm a little surprised to see Abraham start over Giroud. Giroud ended the season very well for Chelsea last year. I personally rate him a little bit better than Abraham. Don't know what the situation is in the locker room. Don't know what Lampard thinks about the players, but I think Giroud tends to play sort of that forward striking role, solo striking role a little bit better. You've seen it, historically with Arsenal. You've seen it at his time with Chelsea, and you've particularly seen it when he plays for the French national team. Griezmann would always play underneath him. You would have Mbappe out wide, and he's really good at holding up play and enabling those types of dynamic players to play around him, which Timo Werner is. Abraham, a little bit less so. He's more of what you would expect at, I guess, your traditional 9, but I don't think he's as good as Giroud as at holding up play and distributing to and opening space for other players. But still a good player, Abraham, and it is good to see him get a start here. A lot of people were concerned that he would not see any part of the field with Werner's addition to the side. We're at 11:30 here. I don't know why this has not picked up the match yet. It's a bit of a weird why this is happening. I'm gonna check something really quick. Okay, coverage is concluded. So guess I need to sign in here. Okay. I mean, I hope NBC's going to switch us over to the game. Okay, here we go. Wow, we're already 42 seconds into the match, so that was abrupt. Thank you for that, NBC. All right, so we are into the match here. I have decided to go back to showing the corner scoreboard. I did get a 1-day suspension a while ago. I'm not sure if it was for this or for something else, so we're going to try it again here. I've been struggling with the timer. I just think the scoreboard's just a lot better. But we'll try to block as much of the match as we possibly can. But yeah, so with that, I'm going to get into broadcasting mode. I'll join you guys at halftime for thoughts and analysis. Conte here, shifting this one out to Reece James now. James looking up, assessing his options, looks inside to Mason Mount. It's being fielded here on the right wing to start this game. We'll retreat to Conte now, Kovacic. Chelsea coming out with a bit of a different look than they have in the first 2 games. Havertz has now withdrawn into the number 10 role instead of the right wing role he had been playing. Has moved Timo Werner out to the wing. You can see him starting out here on the left wing. Werner certainly a capable player. And here is Havertz and Werner trying to connect here as Havertz picks the ball up between the lines, but his pass is picked off there. Now a foul as Kovacic wins the ball back, but good interception from Ajayi. There's Mason Mount in field. We'll just look back towards Andreas Christensen. Now back after being sent off in the prior match against Liverpool. Fortunate to come away with no suspension, although definitely not an egregious or intentful challenge onto Sadio Mane in that game, but did drag the Liverpool forward back. Was shown a straight red card after review, which did not set up Chelsea well for success in that match. They were beaten 2-0 by Liverpool, but in fairness, it could have been worse. Handily managed by the champions were the Blues. Here's a clipped pass from Kovacic out towards Alonso. He's met by Pereira out here. Now has Sawyers for company. Here's Diangana pressuring Conte. Now James trying to combine with Mount. It's well intercepted by Townsend. Diangana comes away with it. It's being held by N'Golo Kanté will be a foul on Chelsea here. So Diangana will earn an early free kick here, 3 minutes into the match. Again, Chelsea playing the familiar 4-2-3-1 here today. Kovacic and Kanté anchoring midfield, but have moved Timo Werner out to left wing. And here's a poor pass from Alonso. It's picked off by Pereira. He's going to look in behind here for Robinson. Robinson looks across, fires a shot, and scores! And just like that, West Brom is up 1-0 on Chelsea. 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this match. A terrible mistake from Marcos Alonso. Leaves the ball for Matheus Pereira. He shifts that one out to Callum Robinson, and Robinson punishes Chelsea. It's 1-0 West Brom. You can see here, Alonso leaves his pass for Kovacic short. Here's Pereira, shifts this one out to Robinson. Initially doesn't get his first touch correct. He kind of leaves it behind him, but Chelsea's defense doesn't pressure him enough. You see Reece James not really getting tight enough here, allows Robinson to shift it onto his left foot, and Robinson shoots that one through the legs of James into the bottom corner away from Willy Caballero. It's an excellent finish from the West Brom striker. And just like that, it's 1-0 West Brom. What a start to this match. Play restarted here by the Blues, trailing away from home here, 1-0. We see Jorginho on the bench, not selected today in favor of Kovacic. Did have a penalty saved last week by Alisson. Finally, that famous skipped penalty not working out for the Spaniard. Marcos Alonso tries to play into Abraham, but he's robbed of it by Kyle Bartley. Now it's Robinson trying to combine with Romain Sawyers. It's taken away. Now Havertz. Ooh, and he's hacked down pretty clumsily there, I believe, by a retreating Pereira. Might be Robinson, actually. Havertz already back on his feet. I believe Robinson a little bit slow, and a pretty good spot here for Chelsea to take this free kick and see Marcos Alonso and believe Mason Mount over this one. Does look like more of a Mount favored free kick here, as it is over to Sam Johnston's right. For the viewer, the left side of the 18-yard box here. So maybe a bit tough for the left-footed Alonso. Will have to be curling that one in towards the keeper. So probably more of a Mount-favored free kick, but we'll see who is tasked with this one. Referee talking to the wall here, making sure there's no pushing and shoving. Kyle Bartley giving a bit of a petulant shove there to Havertz, Havertz and Tammy Abraham standing in front of the West Bromwich wall to try to create a distraction here. Referee has now backed away. Puts his whistle to his mouth. Here is Mason Mount. Free kick will hit the wall, bounce down, and come straight off the face of one of the West Brom players. And looks like it is Bartley is down on the ground, going to take some time to get his breath back, but nice job defensively there to stop this one. The referee calling a free kick, I believe, for one of the Chelsea players who's trying to block the wall off for impeding the West Brom players. We take another look at the goal here again. First touch from Robinson, not great, but Reece James does not close him down, allows him to get the ball and his feet set. He takes a great strike through the legs of the right back there, and it's just beautifully nestled into the bottom left corner of Caballero's goal. So we come back to live play. Here's Mount looking inside to Havertz. Havertz has it now, trying to escape Pereira's attention, but it will be taken off of him. Now Diangana tries to pick out Robinson, but his pass is taken away by Kovacic. Good defending there from the Chelsea midfielder. Here's a cross from James. That one headed down by Bartley. It's Pereira. Ooh, and pretty poor there from Sawyers. It's picked off. Havertz looking across for Timo Werner, but his touch bounces off the shoulder. And now a forward run here. And look at the pace from, I believe, Darnell Furlong here. He's dragged back by Alonso. Sorry, that is Ajayi. And this is an early yellow card for Marcos Alonso here. As we look at this, Ajayi sees some open room behind Alonso, pushes it 20 yards past him, and absolutely bursts by the Chelsea left back, who reaches out, grabs him by the arm to tug him back. It's an easy yellow card call there for the referee, and Ajayi just absolutely men against boys there on that run, just blows by Marcos Alonso as if he wasn't even there. So early yellow card here for the Chelsea left back. Here's the ensuing free kick from Pereira. Drives this one low. It's flicked away. I believe this one has come off a Chelsea head. Tammy Abraham will try to keep it in play, but will not be able to do so. Will be a West Bromwich throw on the far touchline. And Frank Lampard looking pretty upset here on his touchline right now. And why wouldn't you be sitting behind to this West Bromwich side so early in this match? Play resumes here. Chelsea able to win this one back off the throw. Here's N'Golo Kante shifting it over to Mateo Kovacic now. Kovacic taking his time, not pressured by any West Brom players. Pereira moving across here. Chelsea happy to shift this one across their back line. Townsend out to defend Reece James. Now Robinson defending Christensen. We'll look inside to Havertz. But forced all the way back. West Brom, good defensive structure here. This one will flick off of, I believe, Townsend, yes, for a throw-in. Chelsea go all the way back to Caballero. They'll reset it here with Kovacic, who has dropped deep to pick this one up. We'll look to Kante. Defensively, looks like West Brom in a bit of a 3-4-3. But even the two strikers, Diangana and Pereira, who are just withdrawn of Callum Robinson, are dropping deep to help the midfield. So more of a 5-4-1. This one lofted in behind for Mason Mount. Has two players for company. Will be able to hold on to this one. Gets his head up. Plays a couple of exchange passes with Kante. Here's Havertz shooting from distance. Decent save there from Johnson. Pretty good shot there from Havertz. He shot from a very long way out. Not sure if Johnson's vision was impeded. Chelsea have retained possession. It's back out wide to James here. Now Havertz. Chelsea with the Lions' share of possession here. Do finally have it in a decent area of the pitch. They have moved about 10 yards into West Brom's half. Here's a clip pass, an easy foul call onto Havertz here as puts both of his hands into the back of Dara O'Shea. We see a replay here of this shot from Havertz. See Mount doing pretty well to maintain possession out here. So good exchange passes. Here's Havertz at the top of the box. Yeah, pretty decent curling shot. I think it wasn't too hard for Johnson. I think he may have been unsighted there a bit by the presence of Ajayi in front of him, deciding to push that one away instead of catching. Johnston now has it at his feet. So yeah, I do believe actually FootMob has it right. It looks like it is pretty much a 5-4-1, at least in defensive structure for West Brom. Bit of more of a 3-4-3 when they are attacking. But definitely happy to have their outside wingbacks tucked pretty far back to help defend against all these Chelsea attackers. This ball moved out towards Reece James. Townsend out to defend. Diangana and Robinson, the most advanced players. Happy to let Chelsea have this in their back line. Silva moves it out to James. Here's the cross. It's a great cross. And Tammy Abraham has an excellent chance to level the scoring, but does not hit the target there. Excellent cross here from Reece James. We can see this one come out to him. Takes two touches here. Looks up. Sees this cross to Tammy Abraham, picks him out beautifully. It's in behind Ajayi, who can't get a foot on it. Abraham has a wonderful opportunity to level the match there, but does not make the contact he wants. That ball skimming off of his left foot there and going wide and high of the goal. So poor contact from Abraham there and wasting a golden opportunity to level the match here on 12 minutes. It remains 1-0 West Brom. They move it forward towards Robinson, but the pass is intercepted. Now, Thiago Silva playing with Christensen. Reece James inside. Good combination pass. Will release N'Golo Kante. Has a lot of room to run here. Will finally be met by Sawyers. Oh, but this pass from Kante is poor. It's picked off by Furlong. We'll find it again. Looking long here towards Robinson, making a forward run. Easily headed away by Thiago Silva. Now Alonso. Harried here by, I believe, Livermore. And there will be no foul, so Furlong will throw this one in. Pereira harried off of it by Havertz. Now Werner with it. Good defending by Ajayi. He'll come away with it, but bodied off of it by N'Golo Kante. Apologize getting a call here. Is a friend, so I'm going to take this one really quickly, guys. Sorry. Actually, no, I'll hold on. I'll just text it. Here's Marcos Alonso. Shifted across to Christensen. Now it's Reece James. Chelsea still trying to play out of the back here. West Brom have extended a bit to try to pressure this one. Kovacic now finds some space. Here's Havertz, very far withdrawn. Here's Reece James. West Brom now with possession. Trying to play out, but a lot of Chelsea players there to defend, and it will go out for a Chelsea throw. Now tossed in to Reece James. He'll reset it to Christensen. Here's Silva. Good through ball here. Mount does well to ride a challenge. He's inside the box. Crosses to Werner. Werner hits the bar! And Chelsea have come so close to leveling once again. This time from Timo Werner, who technically almost hits the target. Certainly not as bad as the Abraham shot here, but not able to put that one away. And just off the top of the bar. You can see here, good pass in from Havertz. Mount does excellently to ride the challenge from Dara O'Shea. Picks out the cross to Timo Werner. Leaves it just about ankle height there. Werner makes good contact with his instep on his right foot, but just leaning back maybe a little bit, gets a little bit under it. It goes up and just clips the top of the bar. They're so close from Timo Werner to opening his Chelsea account here. Does have an assist. They did win the penalty against Brighton in match day 1 for Chelsea, but yet to actually hit the net himself. Play has resumed. Now West Brom with it. Here's Diangana. Pressured by multiple Chelsea players. Looks back to O'Shea. Here's Diangana out to Townsend. Townsend looks up. Reconnects with Diangana. Has some room to work here. Looks inside to Pereira. Good 1-2 with Diangana, but Reece James is alert to it. Will be able to play back to Caballero, who clears. Won by Sawyers, but the second ball goes straight up in the air. Conte challenging for it. Will win it. Collected by Mason Mount. Here's Alonso. Mason Mount getting Havertz getting a bump there from Sawyers. Now Conte. Out to Reece James, who's already played one excellent cross in this match. Tammy Abraham a little guilty of being wasteful with that ball played in by James. Now here's Silva. Chelsea combining in their midfield. Kovacic has it now. He looks inside because of great passing to Werner. Werner defended here by Bartley. It's pretty good defending by Bartley, and he will win a goal kick. Excuse me. Ooh. Excuse me. Lampard now sitting down, but still looking extremely unhappy with how this match has started. 17 minutes in, it's 1-0 West Bromwich Albion here. So they restart play. Johnston clears this one up the left-hand touchline. Far touchline for the viewers. It's settled by West Brom eventually. Pereira has it. Livermore to Sawyers. Now Ajayi out to Furlong here. Look inside and back to Pereira. Livermore. Sawyers. Now into Diangana, but his attempt at a 1-2 does not connect. As Caballero plays calmly out to Kovacic, who takes his dribble forward. Pereira tries to chase him, but decides to abandon pursuit when he realizes he cannot get a good angle to defend. And now Alonso has some room to run, has Werner to the left of him. Werner now with Furlong. Cuts left, good cross in, but a little bit too high and too close to the goalkeeper. That one will evade everyone, go all the way out for a throw-in on the far touchline. So Chelsea still looking to try to break even in this match. I've had a couple of excellent opportunities, one falling to Tammy Abraham, one falling to Timo Werner, neither one converted. Werner is definitely the closer of the two, hitting the top of the bar from across from Mason Mount. Another throw here for West Brom on the far touchline. Townsend will take it. Well won by Christensen. Reece James, defended by Diangana, will be able to clip it off of the West Brom midfielder. Win a throw in for his side. Here's Conte. Again, West Brom happy to let Chelsea throw this one in. Happy to let them control it in their own half. Kovacic shifts it to Christensen. Now Reece James. Inside to Havertz. Havertz, great 1-2. Now Mount inside the box. Tries to cut it back to Havertz, but it's picked off. Bartley has it. He'll look long early. Robinson wins the initial header, but it's flicked behind him. Reece James easily collects it. Comes all the way to Thiago Silva. Now Kovacic. Havertz finding another good pocket of space. Pick it up, but is pressured back to his defensive line. It's out to Marcos Alonso. Now Kovacic. Havertz been doing a good job here, dropping into space, finding pockets, trying to pick up the ball and be dangerous. Here's Reece James crossing once again. This is flicked behind by Kyle Bartley. Bit of a weird header there. Maybe not hearing anything from his teammates. Fortunately for him, it goes out for a throw rather than a corner. Be thrown into Werner, but his attempted pass back to Alonso is intercepted. The clearance only comes as far as Kovacic. We'll spray this one wide to Reece James. James, now inside the box. Driving, good cross. It's deflected, but Johnston keeps it in play, so that one will be collected by the West Bromwich goalkeeper. Decent defending from Townsend. James does a nice job here to push this one, gets enough space for the cross. Mount is there at the near post, but his attempted flick on is deflected into the path of Johnston, who collects easily. The danger is averted here. Chelsea, though, have it again with Havertz. Conte. Kovacic. Oh, struggles there. A turnover. A little bit of room to work here as Pereira has this one. Will cut back. Sees Diangana in a ton of space on the far side. Will connect with Diangana. Good chest down, but the touch just a little too long. And Andreas Christensen able to take that one off of Diangana. That one will go out for a throw in here. Another poor turnover from Chelsea. And you can see Pereira, very influential here, doing a great job seeing that far run from Diangana. Picks him out well, but the touch off of Diangana's chest just gets a little bit away from him. Christensen is able to nip in there, knock that one out for a throw, and allow his team to recover. Another decent opportunity, though, for West Brom there. Diangana tries to get it back to the thrower. It's picked off by Mount and will go out for a Chelsea throw. Throwing is to Conte. Go all the way back to Thiago Silva. Now it's Kovacic. Conte. Kovacic is happy to be dropping deeper. You can see he keeps dropping in either near the center backs or into the center back line to try to pick up play. It allows him to drive forward or try to pick out a pass. Kovacic is a very, very good passer of the ball. Excellent at moving it from the defensive line. Chelsea, good combination play here. It's up to Havertz. He's defended by Kyle Bartley, forced back. Oh, and his back pass is picked off by Diangana, who goes to ground here, but not going to get any sympathy from the referee. It's with Mount now. Top of the box. We'll look to Kovacic. Kovacic connects with Havertz. Havertz has the overlapping run from James. Here's the cross from James. It's a little bit behind Timo Werner. It flicks off of his heel, goes straight up in the air, and Johnston able to jump up and collect that one. You can see Diangana in some pain still on the floor, despite not receiving any sympathy from the referee. Take a look at the replay here. Flicks this one up. Yeah, it does look like a clean tackle from James, although he may just have come through and clipped Diangana in the face with his hand. See Diangana holding his mouth and nose area. Should be all right, of course. But those do hurt for sure. Definitely worse in real time than it looks on replay. Getting a hit in the face in real time has happened to all of us at one point or another that have played soccer, and it does hurt. Slaven Bilic yelling some instructions from the touchline here, and we got a foul called. Looks like on to Furlong. So Alonso will win a free kick for his side here, and it will be restarted. Moved out wide to Reece James. Here's Thiago Silva. Huge mistake here. Callum Robinson is in behind. Here's Christensen. Here's the shot. He scores! And Thiago Silva on his debut has made a horrible mistake. And Callum Robinson has scored again for West Brom. It's 2-0 to the Baggies. And Chelsea absolutely self-destructive here today. Two absolutely horrendous mistakes. We can see Thiago Silva trying to pick a pass here, and this one just slips under his outstretched foot. Christensen tries to get back to cut the angle for Robinson to shoot, but Robinson is clinical in this situation, picks his place, buries it into the opposite corner where he finished his earlier goal. Doesn't give Willy Caballero any chance to save this one. It's absolutely ruthless from West Brom, but Chelsea are their own worst enemies here today. It is 2-0 off of two horrible defensive mistakes from Chelsea. And there is that man, Callum Robinson, happy to take advantage. Collects himself a brace here 25 minutes into this match. So Callum Robinson firing at the double here in the first half. Chelsea now trailing 2-0, have it all to do in what they would have expected was to be a great matchup for them here today. West Brom have shipped a ton of goals here in their first two matches. 4 against Leeds in the prior match. Have struggled defensively, but Chelsea have not looked great. Have had a couple of very good chances off of individually great plays. An excellent crossing from Reece James. Mason Mount riding a challenge of Darragh O'Shea, crossing to Timo Werner, but neither able to be converted. And on the other end, 2 huge defensive errors have given Callum Robinson 2 chances, and he has made no mistake with either of them. Chelsea restarting here. Kovacic tries to play Tammy Abraham through. It's picked off by Darragh O'Shea. Finds his way to Townsend. Good 1-2 from Townsend with Diangana. Play going to continue, even though Townsend is taken down. Should be a yellow card when play is eventually stopped here. But Diangana going to ride the challenge of Kovacic. He finds Pereira in the box now. Pereira has 3 Chelsea players defending him. Will be forced back to Diangana. He will have the beating of Havertz here. Gets across away. It's going to be deflected by James for a corner kick. We'll see if the referee going to take action against any of the Chelsea players here for that foul on Townsend. And he will. Has his yellow card out. Is writing a name in the book. It should either be Reece James or Kovacic, and it looks like it will be Reece James here as we look at this replay. Good 1-2. Yeah, Reece James very late there in the challenge. Does take Townsend down. Diangana does well to play on, but excellent refereeing there to allow the play to continue. Here's the corner kick. It's well picked out. It's at the back post. Wide open is Ajayi. He scored. And so far it stands. Sorry, that's actually Bartley who has scored. So far the goal stands. We don't see a flag raised just yet. 3-0 on the board if this one stands. And an excellent corner kick routine here from West Brom. You can see Pereira looking to pick out the late run here of Furlong. And no, he is absolutely onside. Held on by Reece James there is Bartley. This is going to be a good goal. It's going to be 3-0 West Ham in the first 30 minutes of this match. Chelsea have absolutely been torn apart here by their own doing. 2 horrible defensive mistakes And then absolutely lazy defending Reece James, not aware at the back post, nobody marking Kyle Bartley, and an excellent training ground routine here from the corner kick by West Bromwich Albion nets them a 3-goal lead here on 28 minutes. This is absolutely astounding. I don't think anyone coming into this game here today would have expected this scoreline, and in particular this quickly into the match. Chelsea, absolutely dreary, absolutely horrendous defensive mistakes, and they have had a couple opportunities of their own, but find themselves trailing by 3 goals from a mistake by Marcus Alonso, another by Thiago Silva, and then horrible marking on this last corner kick here by West Brom. And West Brom have been absolutely ruthless here today. 3 opportunities for the Baggies and 3 goals put away. 2 by Callum Robinson, now 1 by Kyle Bartley. And they are looking at possibly a win against a giant here in the Premier League. Something that nobody would have expected, and the odds makers certainly would not have had good odds on this morning. But looking good for it for anyone putting their money and their belief into this West Bromwich side after the first 2 matches. Here's a cross from Furlong. Almost picks out Diangana. Here's Townsend at the back post. Will cross back in. This one picked off by Christensen. He's able to poke it away from Townsend, and it will find the feet of Mason Mount here. Reece James looking backwards to Christensen. Across here to Thiago Silva. Kovacic, Werner. Werner dropped so deep here, all the way in from the left wing position. Shifts this one forward to James. He's met by Diangana. N'Golo Kanté now, he's going to be ridden here. That's probably going to be a foul on Kanté. Excellent challenge from Pereira, and Chelsea just look shell-shocked at the moment. Completely off the pace now. West Brom seem to be everywhere. They seem to be in their heads, and I think Chelsea just cannot come to terms with how they are trailing by 3 goals here at 30 minutes into this match. And Lampard sitting in disbelief on the bench at the moment. Johnston clearing this one long. The header actually won by, I believe, Furlong there on the touchline. Chelsea do end up coming away with it, but Ajayi pokes this one off of Werner. Kovacic has come away with it. Now has some room to run. Looks for a split pass. That one deflected by Sawyers there. Furlong has it. Now he looks up the line towards Pereira, who has a lot of room to run here. Looks inside to Robinson. Good interception from Christensen. Alert to the danger and able to clear this one. Up the near touchline here. Challenge won by Sawyers now. Into Diangana, back to Sawyers. West Brom will slow it down now. Pereira on the near touchline. Trying to exchange passes with Diangana. Diangana with Alonso. Moves it past him. Finds Sawyers. Here's Furlong. Going to ride the challenge of Havertz, and that's a rough challenge from Havertz there. Some frustration from the new Chelsea signing as he leaves a very poor challenge into Furlong. May even be booked here. Looks like he may just escape it. Yeah, and this is just pure frustration for Havertz. He knows he's never getting that ball. Leaves his foot cynically in there into Furlong. Will be a free kick here to West Bromwich Albion on the near touch line. Bartley coming up for this one. Ajayi up as well. Thiago Silva with the captain's armband on today, guilty of conceding possession for that second Callum Robinson goal. Chelsea now potentially under threat. Pereira, an absolute wizard from these set pieces, can really whip it in to a dangerous area. He's already set up 1 goal with that excellent driven corner kick. Here is the free kick, drives it in towards the near post. It's pretty dangerous, but well headed away by Silva. Sawyers will collect this one. Goes all the way back to Townsend, who lofts it back towards the near corner. Excellent header there from Alonso. Sawyers has collected it. Going to look cross field. That one headed away by James. Does not find Robinson. Tammy Abraham all the way back to defend. And now a little bit of room to work here for Chelsea. But Bartley Alert to this one, gets in front of Havertz, able to intercept that one. Johnston's clearance, not great, will be headed down by N'Golo Kante and finally collected by Chelsea. They will restart their attack from their defensive line. Here's Alonso. Bilic out on his touchline, yelling instructions at his side. They have looked defensively sound so far, limiting spaces pretty well, but here's a good combination from Chelsea. We'll find Reece James on the far touchline. Kante into Kovacic. Good flick pass into Werner. Havertz. Excellent passing here from Chelsea. Here's Mason Mount taking a shot from the top of the box. It deflects and goes out for a corner kick here. So Chelsea with an opportunity here from the set piece. 33 minutes on the clock. 12 minutes left in regulation in this first half. And once again, sitting with the incredible scoreline here of 3-0 West Bromwich. All three of those goals scored before the 30-minute mark in this match. Here's Reece James from the corner. Headed away by Bartley, but a foul called by the referee. Some shoving from Chelsea players, and this one will go West Brom's way. They will be able to clear their lines here. Take a look at the replay here of the corner kick goal. Can see looking for the late run of Furlong. Pereira picks him out perfectly, and yeah, Reece James and Marcos Alonso both just falling asleep at the back post. I believe it's Marcos Alonso's man, but Reece James is sitting too deep, keeps Bartley on sides, and able to just tap that one in for the third goal. Here's Johnston restarting this one. That cleared ball is won by Christensen. Chelsea have come away with possession after the ball bounced around a couple times, and now Marcos Alonso looking inside. Abraham tries to hold it up, but it's won by West Brom. Here's Diangana trying to run away. Excellent challenge from N'Golo Kante. Will win possession back, and James now fouled by Callum Robinson. Kante will restart this one for Chelsea. Here's Kovacic. Moves this one out to Reece James. Kante now. Thiago Silva and Kante. I do apologize. I am going to have a little bit of background noise, I think, here. If it is too loud, anyone in the chat, please let me know. I can put a higher suppressor on my microphone, but my landlord doing some construction work on my windows, so we may hear some knocking and maybe a drill here and there. Here's a cross in from Chelsea, actually sort of a cross shot. Not really sure what Mason Mount was aiming for there. Here's Kante at the top of the box. Mount out to an overlapping James. Here's a cross from James. It's too close to Johnston. He's able to punch that one out for a corner kick. Let me see if my stream's picking this up. Nolan, if you're here, if you're listening, let me know if you can hear that in the background at any point. Okay, you can definitely hear that. Let me know how loud it is if you can. If I need to turn my suppressor up, maybe that would help. So if at any point you're listening and you hear that, please give me a helping hand here. Here's Timo Werner. Kovacic. Kante. Out to Reece James. Chelsea trying to find a way back into this match, trailing by 3 goals. Good turn by Kovacic. You can see all of the West Brom players in front of him. A bank of 5 defenders, 4 midfielders. Callum Robinson, the only one higher up the pitch, the only one not behind the ball. Just choking off the spaces that Chelsea can play into. There's a ball in from Havertz. Finds Mount, turns inside, but doesn't see a lot of options. Forced back to Silva. Now Christensen dribbling this one forward. Looks wide to James. Reece James crossing this one in. Nobody there at the back post. This one will dribble all the way out for a West Brom throw-in at the near touchline. 37 minutes now on the clock. Chelsea still struggling to find inroads into this West Brom defense, struggling to find ways to get in behind, get opportunities to score here. So again, have had 2 golden chances, one on a cross from Reece James, wasted by Tammy Abraham at the back post with his left foot. The second one, a good turn from Mason Mount, found him in the box, crossed to Timo Werner. His shot coming off the top of the crossbar. Chelsea with possession once again. Havertz finding Timo Werner. He's forced back to Alonso. Conte. Kovacic. Sprays this one wide to Reece James. James. Good pass up to Mason Mount, but that ball almost escapes him. He does barely manage to keep it in, but West Brom able to intercept and now able to clear. Callum Robinson will be beaten to this one. Oh, but here comes Matheus Pereira. Oh, and a little unfortunate there as Pereira's Chelsea player is a little bit indecisive, allowing him to nip in between 2 of them. His touch goes a little too far, and Christensen able to make a last-ditch challenge to keep Pereira from bursting in behind the back line. Chelsea do come away with it once again here. To Reece James. Cuts it back for Havertz. Out to James. In a good position here to cross. Good cross to Abraham. But once again fluffs his lines. And Tammy Abraham not sharp on the 2 opportunities that have fallen to him. This one a good cross on the floor by James. We look at the replay. Picks his head up. Cuts this one back. And Abraham gets this one all wrong. Trying to cut it across the face of goal to shoot towards the far post. Instead gets completely under that one. And lobs it deep into the empty stands behind the net. So 2 chances for Abraham now, both nowhere near the target. Lampard still sitting frustrated on the Chelsea bench. Very sour look upon his face. Slaven Bilic still on the touchline, giving instructions to his team. Was sent to the stands last week. 2 weeks ago in the opening match against Everton, after Kieran Gibbs was sent off for striking James Rodriguez. Ooh, here's a foul from Sawyers. Now there'll be a good opportunity for Chelsea here from the top of the box. Decent shooting angle as well, particularly for Marcos Alonso. And yeah, just a needless tackle there from Sawyers. Sticks his leg into the back of Kovacic, who once he feels the contact, always able to go to ground there, and does draw a good opportunity here. 3 players over this one. Mason Mount, Marcos Alonso, and Reece James. I can't imagine James would be the one to take this one. This looks like a good angle for Alonso to try and curl one into the top corner. Mount also over the ball, trying to offer at least a distraction. Here is Alonso. This one into the wall. Really didn't get a good strike on that one. Kind of hit the legs of the West Bromwich wall instead of the head. So not quite the strike Alonso wanted on that one. Chelsea do regain possession after the clearance by West Brom. So with Kovacic. Now with Christensen. Sorry, this is Thiago Silva. Havertz drops deep again, but is forced back to Thiago Silva. Kovacic. Werner. James. Silva. Christensen. Here's Alonso. Out on the right touchline with James. Chelsea still holding good possession here, but still struggling to find any sort of killer pass. Struggling to find anything in behind these 2 banks of defenders from West Brom. Conte, James. Looking for a pass that'll split the lines here. Silva, he keeps moving forward, finally finds Werner, but Werner closed down by 3 players instantly. This one cleared away by Ajayi. Chelsea attempts to collect pretty aggressive sliding challenge there from, I believe, Livermore. But Chelsea do retain possession. Here is Christensen. Lost this one over to James. He has Diangana defending him. Will cross early. That one's a deep cross, but Johnston sees that one all the way, comes off his line and catches. Rise to his feet and look to clear this one down the field. 42 minutes gone in this first half, just 3 minutes remaining. Probably not much stoppage time to speak of here in this one. Johnston will boot this one back up the pitch. Easily won there by Christensen, actually with his feet instead of his head. And now Havertz trying to settle. Instead it will be won by Sawyers. He looks wide for Pereira. Has Marcos Alonso alone. Here's a good run from Sawyers. Is picked out by Pereira. Early cross to the top of the box. Here's Diangana. Shifts to his left, but doesn't quite get his balance right. And his shot sails high and wide. Never really threatening Caballero there. Another decent opportunity for West Brom. Fortunately, this time Diangana not as ruthless as West Brom has been on their other opportunities. You can see shifting onto his left foot there. Just leaning back a little, never quite gets his balance right to really drive through that ball. And he does end up pushing that one up and out away from the goal. So Caballero not forced into a save on this one. Here's Conte. Looking long initially, but didn't see the right option. Instead plays wide to James. Conte now. Chelsea still struggling to find passes in between the lines. They finally pick out Havertz, but his combination pass with Timo Werner is intercepted. West Brom will clear their lines. Ooh, miscommunication between Bartley and Sawyers. Be nicked away by Tammy Abraham. He goes to ground, but it comes away with Livermore. No foul called by the referee. Now Diangana alone with Marcos Alonso. Cuts inside of him. Will shoot. It's blocked, and James is able to get the clearance the rest of the way. Good turn here by Mason Mount. Absolutely being manhandled by Townsend. Should draw a foul here. Will do so. Good work there by Mount. Exchanges some pleasantries with Jake Livermore as they cross each other on the field. Chelsea will restart this one. Goes out to Marcos Alonso. Thiago Silva looks between the lines. Havertz collects well. Will find Reece James. Has some room to work. Good first touch. Will cross. Good lofted cross, but Ajayi reads it well. Heads it about half clear there. Chelsea still with possession. Kovacic lines up for a shot from 25, but misses the contact completely. And that one going high and wide right of the goal. Looking for the spectacular volley, but not coming off for the Croatian this time around. We have reached the end of regulation here in the first half. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Slaven Bilic gesticulating to some of the players and assistant coaches on his bench, but cannot be anything but thrilled with this first half from West Brom, leading 3-0 here with 2 minutes remaining in stoppage time in the first half. And they have been leading for quite a while, scoring in the fourth minute of the match. Once again on 12 minutes, and then on a corner kick routine around the 28-minute mark. So 3 goals for West Brom here before the 30-minute mark. See them in absolute control of this match, and those are not the only opportunities. A couple of decent ones have fallen to Diangana as well, near the top of the box. So while they have been extremely clinical with the few chances they've had, they have generated at least a handful in this match, which is a little bit more than Chelsea. Chelsea really have had 3 opportunities, 2 falling to Abraham, 1 to Werner. Only Werner able to get his anywhere near the goal, his striking the top of the crossbar. Abraham, both of his efforts being skewed horribly wide. Throw in here from Chelsea comes off of Furlong. He's able to win a throw for his team on the right-hand touchline here, and with about 10 seconds remaining in the half in stoppage time, this should be the last action here. Furlong look to throw it in and end this first half of play here. Looks in deep to Diangana, and the referee will blow for halftime. So that will do it for our first half of play. 2 goals from Callum Robinson off of defensive errors by Chelsea, followed by a brilliant set-piece routine leading to a Kyle Bartley goal. Puts West Bromwich Albion in a 3-0 advantage over Chelsea here at the Hawthorns at halftime. We'll rejoin you after these halftime messages. All right, guys, and that'll do it for half number 1. What an incredible half. Wow. I would never have expected this at the beginning of this match, and I don't think a lot of people would either. You could see a team like, it could always happen where a team, nicks a goal off of Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, whoever, but like 3 goals. I mean, 2 blatant defensive errors from Chelsea, just absolutely horrendous errors, and Callum Robinson absolutely clinical on both. And then that set piece routine from the corner kick was absolutely brilliant from West Brom as well. They catch Marcus Alonso and Reece James sleeping at the back post. 3-0 up inside 30 minutes. And Chelsea have not looked convincing, even when they were at 0-0, even when they were down 1-0, 2-0. Doesn't really matter. They have not looked convincing. They have it all to do, and I don't see it happening. This looks like a defeat here from Chelsea. I mean, West Brom are just going to sit with 9 men behind the ball, maybe 10 with even Callum Robinson. Make Chelsea work for it, make Chelsea earn it, and unless something drastic changes in the second half, I really don't see it happening. So we'll see what Lampard can come up with, but this looks dire for Chelsea, and incredibly clinical, incredibly miserly, super performance so far by West Brom. So gotta hand it to them so far. They have done exactly what they would have wanted to, and it's looked really good. So I'm gonna go get some food and some water. I'll come back and we'll start off with the second half, but I am absolutely starving, so I'll rejoin you as the second half is starting. But thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you as the second half starts. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them in chat. I'll pick them up and we can talk about them when I come back. I'm just gonna move. Oh, hello. Just gonna move this up here. No reason to have it if we don't have the scoreboard. And I guess I can also move. Which one is it? The system's a little high. Johnston. We can move the West Brom line down a little bit. Oh, no, it's too far down. Whoops. Maybe it was up. Maybe I was trolling myself. Yeah, it was up. Okay. All right, I'll be right back. What's up, guys? We're back. All right. Got me a banana, some toast, heated up some breakfast potatoes with some Cholula. It's delicious. So yeah, again, I mean, Chelsea have been disastrous. At least in the back line. I mean, it's nuts. Like, I mean, James has a yellow card. He's made like 2 bad challenges. Falls asleep on the 3rd goal. Thiago Silva with an absolute howler. Marcus Alonso with a howler and a cynical challenge for a yellow card. Like, Christensen is the only one who can say he's done like most things right. I mean, Caballero's been nowhere near any of the goals. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy. This is the kind of game you have, like, even in like youth soccer or like low level soccer. You just have a game, and you're just like, you just look around. You're just losing. You're just making mistakes. You're down like 2-3 goals. You're just like, what the hell is going on here? That's what I think is going through the Chelsea players' head. It's just like, what the hell happened? What the hell's happening? Like, why? Like, why? Like, 3-0 down to West Brom in 30 minutes is crazy. It's crazy bad. And yeah, like I said, West Brom's been clinical. They've had 1 corner, scored off it, and 4 chances and scored 2. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Obviously, the chances were like super high quality because they were huge defensive errors, but still. I mean, the first one really wasn't like Pereira played Robinson a little bit behind him, and Robinson had to take a pretty like extended touch to set himself up. James didn't close him down, took a good shot, but that one wasn't like guaranteed. The second one was pretty like, you should score that. Similar to Chelsea's penalty goal against Brighton where Alzate like kind of leaves it. That's like a similar situation, I think. And then the third one that's a great training ground routine. And, a lot of questions have always been asked of Marcus Alonso's defensive ability. And I think that's his guy at the back post. And also Reece James has fallen asleep holding him on with he didn't step the lineup, right? So we'll see what they can do. We'll see if Lampard's making changes at halftime, but they're in trouble because they do not look like, it's not like they're generating chance after chance or like they've been threatening the goal. Like, they do not look like scoring 3 goals. They don't. Ooh, those are hot. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to let that cool down. Woof. All right, looks like we're about to restart here, so we'll be hopping on the broadcast. I may take a second here and there to eat my food when these things actually like cool down, because I think I fried them a little bit too much. Looks like Azpilicueta's on here. I'll go right there. Okay. So Azpilicueta's come on. It looks like Reece James is subbed off. Maybe he subbed off Alonso on the far side. We'll see. One of the outside backs has been sacked. Okay, it's not James. So Azpi's on at left back, I think. Sawyer's the last one out of the locker room here. All right, we'll join you guys at full time again for some thoughts and commentary. But with that, we'll be hopping into broadcaster mode here. As soon as the scoreboard comes up, I'll just make sure we're capturing the scoreboard. And see if I can limit some of the other space. So give me 1 second here. Oh, I can kill some more space. Let's kill some more space. There we go. Nice. Okay. All right, hop back into it. All right, here is Chelsea restarting play here in the second half, trailing West Bromwich Albion 3-0 2 coming from Callum Robinson, punishing 2 defensive mistakes from Chelsea. The third coming from an excellent set play, clearly a training ground routine off of their only corner kick, catching Marcos Alonso and Reece James asleep at the back post, and Kyle Bartley finishing that one off. So West Bromwich here with a massive advantage in this second half. We'll be looking to close this match out over the next 40 minutes and get a massive win over the Blues here today. Here's Chelsea, Tammy Abraham trying to hold on to this one. Here's Werner. Knocks them back to Conte, now out to Azpilicueta, who has been subbed on here for Marcos Alonso on the left. So Alonso hooked at halftime by Lampard. Never something you want to see or feel as a player. Typically, a halftime substitution is due to either tactics really not working or a very poor performance or an injury. Those are typically the only three situations in which you are yanked at halftime by a manager. And I think in this case, it is the performance by Marcos Alonso in that first half. So sacrificed here for Cesar Azpilicueta, as Johnstone will restart this one with a long goal kick. It is bouncing around the two teams right now, eventually settled here by Mason Mount, who does well to find N'Golo Kante and hold on to possession. It's now out with Azpilicueta. Kante. Christensen going to drill this one out to Reece James. Well done by James to bring that one down. Very tough pass there from Christensen to control, but James equal to the task. Here's Abraham dropped extremely deep. Good defensive pressure here by West Brom will force Chelsea all the way back. It's now with Azpilicueta, Werner cropping up here on the left. Here's a chipped pass into the box by Azpilicueta, but gets a little bit under that one and loops it into the waiting hands of Sam Johnston. He'll look out wide here for Townsend. Good collect by Townsend. He'll look back for O'Hara. Now Bartley clips this one long towards Furlong. Flicks it on. Here's Pereira trying to challenge Silva, but loses out to the central defender there. Mount in a battle with Jake Livermore. He will win that one. Chelsea will regain possession here. Shifting this one across now. Finds the feet of James. Tammy Abraham trying to take on Townsend, cuts inside, but his pass is blocked by Diangana. Fortunately for Tammy Abraham, it will bounce all the way back to Christensen. Good sliding challenge by Romain Sawyers will pick off Christensen's pass, and now a long ball from Townsend over towards Pereira, but will not connect with his midfielder there. Instead, Azpilicueta will pick this one up, and we'll find Thiago Silva. Silva moving this one on to Christensen. Here's Reece James, good first touch. Diangana defending. Here's Tammy Abraham, dropped deep once again. Sorry, this is Callum Hudson-Odoi, actually. So I'm not sure who Hudson-Odoi has come on for. Here's Abraham in the box. Great pass back to Werner here, but it's blocked by Ajayi. Do want to apologize to Tammy Abraham for being a little overcritical of him dropping in deep there. Is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Not sure who he's been subbed on for. Looks like Werner is offsides in this picture, but a good effort from Abraham to pick out his strike partner here. Here's Reece James. Third corner of the match for Chelsea. This one's short. Not going to beat the first man. Pereira will clear that one out at the near post. We see Havertz still on the pitch as well as Mason Mount. I believe Hudson-Odoi may have been subbed in for Kovacic. So Lampard realizing he needs to get more attacking options on. And here's Hudson-Odoi setting up Havertz. But great challenge there from Diangana. We'll clip this one off of Havertz. It does go out for a Chelsea throw here. So Hudson-Odoi on for Kovacic. Azpilicueta on for Marcos Alonso. And once again, those three reasons I mentioned for people being substituted. I do think Alonso's been substituted for performance. I think Kovacic has been sacrificed for tactics here. Hudson-Odoi, a much more attacking player with some verve, a lot of potential to beat players off the dribble, create some space for himself, potentially a scoring opportunity. And scoring is what Chelsea need in spades here, trailing 3-0 in the 50th minute of play here. Here's Hudson-Odoi cropping up on the right. Reece James now. And Chelsea really now in more of a 3-5-2 here. You can see the three central defenders here. James, Thiago Silva, and Andreas Christensen opted to be the three members left deep. Hudson-Odoi pushed out wide right. Havertz allowed to be more withdrawn. Here's Hudson-Odoi. Cross here from James. Good defending at the back post. Here's Havertz in the box, but his touch escapes him. It's cleared away by Jake Livermore. Actually, I do want to apologize. I don't think Chelsea are in a 3-back set. I think it is still a 4-2-3-1. Explain it in a second here. Here's Hudson-Odoi crossing in from deep. This one flicked by Kyle Bartley, cleared the rest of the way by Pereira. So I think Hudson-Odoi has come on for Kovacic. That has shifted Mason Mount into midfield. So now only one midfield anchor with N'Golo Kanté as Cesar Azpilicueta called for a foul here onto Matheus Pereira. So N'Golo Kanté will be the sole pivot of the Chelsea midfield. And ooh, yeah, bit of an arm into the head there of Pereira. Nothing intentional, of course, but will be a foul on the Chelsea defender there. So yeah, he'll be the sole pivot. Mason Mount will sort of be playing a box-to-box-ish / attacking role, along with Havertz in the 10 role. Callum Hudson-Odoi has gone out to right winger, with Timo Werner at left winger. Tammy Abraham still up at the 9 slot in the striking position, and Cesar Azpilicueta at left back. So I've just shifted some players around, but are in the same formation as this one. Sent long towards Townsend. It's won by Townsend, but does fall to the feet of a Chelsea defender. They will move this one out of the back line. You can feel a little bit of urgency from this Chelsea side. They know how far they trail and how quickly they need to score some goals to give themselves some hope. Here's an attempted cross by Abraham. It will bounce off of Bartley. Abraham does a nice job of dodging the ball bouncing back at him. It will go out for a Chelsea corner kick. Their 4th of the match here. The sooner Chelsea can get opportunities, the sooner they can score, the more hope they will have of coming back into this match. Here is the corner kick. Comes in headed straight up. Bartley going to win the second header. Comes about halfway out. Diangana's header is poor. Goes actually backwards into his own box. But here's a push in the back from Werner onto either Townsend or O'Hara. Will be a free kick for West Brom, and they will be able to clear their lines once again. Referee in conversation with Jake Livermore here. Does have the captain's armband here today for West Brom. Not sure what the issue is exactly, but Livermore looking for some sort of explanation. Doesn't seem entirely pleased with the referee's explanation, but then again, when has any player ever been satisfied with a referee's explanation? So Livermore will move back into midfield. Sam Johnston will restart this one. Good header won by Christensen. Cleared back up the field by O'Hara. This time won by Azpilicueta, but his header comes straight to Callum Robinson. He'll pick out Townsend out on the wing. Here's Sawyers. Robinson. Good ball into Matheus Pereira. Finds himself in a good space there, but is forced back by pressure from Chelsea. Sawyers back into Robinson. Good play with Diangana. His attempted pass is deflected, but he will pick it back up, moving it wide to Furlong. Furlong here, trying to take on Azpilicueta. We'll try to push it past him. Azpilicueta does a nice job to force a tough crosshair from Furlong, and it's an easy catch for Willy Caballero. Restarts with Christensen. Good body positioning from Havertz here allows him to collect possession with Sawyers on his back. But Reece James will be forced all the way back to Thiago Silva. Sprays his pass out to Azpilicueta. Silva again. Now Christensen. Into the feet of Tammy Abraham. Looks back to Christensen. It comes all the way out to James. Abraham. Hudson-Odoi assessing his options. We'll look inside to Havertz. Good crossfield pass here by James. Will pick out Azpilicueta. Has some time and room to look up. Instead of crossing, looks inside for Mount. Mount has some room. Shoots from 25. And scores! This is incredibly surprising. Sam Johnston was rooted to the spot. Didn't even move to challenge that strike from Mason Mount. I have to think that deflected off of a West Brom player. We'll take a look at the replay here. Here's a ball across the field from Reece James. Azpilicueta looks inside to Mount. He takes a good first touch, lets it go inside, and no deflection whatsoever. Mount with an absolutely brilliant strike to the near post. Beats Johnston, all ends up, has the goalkeeper absolutely rooted to the spot. It looked like Johnston expected Mount to try to go for the far post there. And Mount absolutely rockets that one into the bottom left corner. So 3-1 Chelsea, and now we may have a match here as there is some hope for the Blues. 55 minutes on the clock, still plenty of time to chase this lead, and now here's another opportunity. Mount streaking forward. Good combination into Werner. Werner on the edge of the box here. Will push it past DeeJay. Will cross. Nobody at the back post. Johnston was unable to get his hand on it, but it does escape the attention of everyone. James able to keep it in at the back post. Now Hudson-Odoi matched up with Grady Diangana. Out to James. Here's the cross. That one deflected. Does come out to the top of the box. Here's Havertz. At the top, it's deflected. Johnston able to push that one wide, I believe. But will be a Chelsea corner, their 5th of the match. And suddenly a little bit of energy for Chelsea here. Yeah, and Johnston getting a nice palm on that one on the deflected Havertz shot. Here is the 5th corner of the match from Chelsea. Reece James clips this one towards the near post, but that one is very tight and bounces into the side netting. Hey, Black Gypsy, how you doing? How you doing, Mike? How was your Friday night? Here is the game being restarted by Johnston. Callum Robinson trying to win this one, but it will be deflected out of play. O'Hara now be tasked with this throw-in. Gonna look long up the touchline here. Good header won by Christensen, but Sawyers eventually collects possession. Now it's Pereira. Has Diangana. Here's an overlap from Townsend. Will look to Townsend's feet. Looks back to Diangana. Pereira was in a good pocket of space, but not found there by Diangana. Instead, it's Sawyers. Ooh, this pass deflected. Looks like Bartley will win the header. Kind of gets clipped by a Chelsea player, and referee will call that one back for the foul on Mount. Yeah, you were texting me at like 3 a.m. Glad you had a good time, though. Did you tell Rebecca I said hello? Here is Callum Robinson. Ooh, Callum sets up for a shot from about 30 out there, trying to chase his hat trick, but doesn't make good contact with that one, and it swerves high and wide for a goal kick. Were you guys in New York or were you in New Jersey last night? Here's Christensen bringing this one out. Reece James. Timo Werner now cropping up on the right wing. Here's Christensen. Thiago Silva pushes this one forward to the halfway line. Ooh, decent effort at a dummy there by Abraham, but kind of caught his own teammate off guard. Azpilicueta not expecting that one. Sorry, that one is Hudson-Odoi, who's now cropped up on the left, switching sides with Werner. No wonder you had to go all the way back. Here's Furlong now with the West Bromwich throw. Here's Ajayi with the throw. Bounces around here, eventually into the Chelsea half. Willy Caballero will come off his line, knock this one very long. A little bit of a push off there by Kyle Bartley on the header, but not noticed by the referee. Pereira doing an excellent job bringing that one down. He has been extremely influential when on the ball in this match. Here's Townsend out to Callum Robinson. Good pass into Diangana. Excellent turn there from Diangana. There's a run here from Townsend. He tries to pick him out. It's a great sliding interception there from Andreas Christensen. Townsend was absolutely in if that ball got through. That is an excellent last-ditch challenge there from the Chelsea center back, and now the Blues coming the other way. Here's Hudson-Odoi on the left touchline, trying to take them on. He cuts inside, takes a shot. It's blocked by Livermore there. Hudson-Odoi on it again. He will clip this one into the box. It's headed away by O'Hara. Robinson now fighting with Christensen and Thiago Silva for possession. Chelsea will win it. It's with Mason Mount. Inside to Abraham. Good connecting pass to Havertz, but an excellent challenge there from O'Hara will win it back. Here's Diangana. Now Sawyers. West Brom not afraid to play this one out of the back, and they will do so successfully. Townsend now with it on the near touch line. Looks inside to Sawyers. Has Pereira in front of him. He will find him. Ooh, Pereira with a cheeky little dink around Andreas Christensen, but good defending from Christensen. They're able to get his body in the way of Pereira, but very close to being absolutely skinned there. Yeah, I did watch some Worlds today and yesterday. I watched a lot of Worlds. I watched the whole rebroadcast of Worlds yesterday, Mike. I can talk about it more when the game's over. Here is Conte winning this one off of Livermore. Ajayi heading forward. And yes, LGD lol. This one cleared away by West Brom. Bouncing between heads at the moment, eventually settled by N'Golo Kante. Thiago Silva. Sounds good. Have a good day, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Mason Mount now. Here's Hudson-Odoi taking on Furlong. Beats him to the end line, but good defending from Furlong will deflect that cross and will go out for a Chelsea corner. But does do a nice job to block that one. Will be the 6th corner of the match here for Chelsea. 61 minutes into this one. 3-1 in the favor of West Bromwich. Chelsea needing another goal to really feel like they can get something out of this match, still with a lot to do here. Here's the ensuing corner. It's a poor one from James. Doesn't get that one over the first defender. Really not even close. It's cleared away by the feet of Pereira. Sawyer's closing down Reece James. Sorry, that was not Reece James. Not exactly sure who took that one. May have been Hudson-Odoi. I'll apologize to Mr. James there. Here's Kai Havertz. Over to James. 2 defenders closing him down. Looks at the top of the box. Here's a shot. That one's deflected. Good block in there by O'Hara, and it will bounce harmlessly into the hands of Johnston. Sorry, that's O'Shea. Have I been saying O'Hara the entire game and it's O'Shea? Woof. Well, chat, why did no one correct me? No, I'm just kidding. It is my mistake. I will not make that one again. It's a good block by O'Shea. It does take a bit of a beating there for it. So West Brom have this one in Johnston's possession. We are 63 minutes into this match. 27 minutes remaining for Chelsea to get back into this one. They trail by 2 goals after Mason Mount gave them their first just about 7 or 8 minutes ago with an excellent strike into the bottom right corner of Sam Johnston's goal. Had Johnston rooted to the spot, didn't even dive for it, so an excellent strike by Mount. This one cleared up the field by Ajayi. Collected by Silva. Now it's Conte. Intended pass by Hudson-Odoi. There's intercepted by, I believe, Livermore. They'll go all the way back to Johnston, who will look for a crossfield pass towards Townsend, which is won well by the left back, but Christensen again alert to the danger posed by Diangana there and gets to that one first. Christensen certainly has been the best of the Chelsea defense here tonight. Despite those 3 goals, can probably hold his head decently high. Has really not been involved in the build-up to any of them. Here's Hudson-Odoi cutting inside now, looking across for Reece James, who is closed down fairly quickly by Grady Diangana. Looks back inside for Conte. Will be forced back to Christensen. Good defending once again from West Brom. They are sagged a little deep here, allowing Thiago Silva to move it forward. Now Hudson-Odoi cutting in again. And across this one into the box. Initial header comes out to Mount. Here's Conte, a little bit open at the top. Good challenge by Bartley. Conte goes flying, but will get back to his feet. Out to Reece James now, defended by Diangana. Sawyers and Mount. Mount doing well to turn Sawyers, but is forced backwards. Silva, culpable for the 2nd goal scored by Callum Robinson after conceding possession, will end up with Hudson-Odoi. His pass deflected now, cleared away for a Chelsea throw-in. West Brom certainly a little bit more pinned in the second half here, particularly after the goal. Chelsea getting a little bit of energy from that goal and the opportunity to potentially get back into this match, and it looks like Callum Robinson will be withdrawn here for a little bit more energy, so won't be able to complete the hat trick here today, but was absolutely clinical and ruthless with the 2 chances presented to him, bearing one in either corner of the goal, really giving Caballero very little chance to save them. Excellent performance and excellent finishing display here from Callum Robinson today. Subbed off on 65 minutes in favor of Hal Robson-Kanu. Now here's Hudson-Odoi once again cutting inside. Will find Mount. He will shoot once again, but this time closed down by 3 players. It's blocked by the wall of West Bromwich shirts. Comes back to Christensen. Conte now has it. He's going to look wide to James once again. Diangana's there. James really not being afforded any space. Diangana very alert. Tracking back extremely well. Positioning to help his left back Townsend. Azpilicueta across to Christensen. Havertz now. Dropped off onto this right-hand side. Mount. Here's James. Still not finding a good option in between the lines. See Werner trying to drop deep for it. Will not pick it up. Shifts it wide. It's Azpilicueta. Hudson-Odoi. Werner. Christensen. Christensen taking a touch wide here. Will find James. He'll take a touch, but is closed down by Townsend. Good turn in here from Mount. We'll try to clip this one in, but Sawyers is there. We'll head it away. Azpilicueta controls it back to Silva. Silva out to Werner. Werner miscontrols for a second, but gets it back. Good pass in here to Azpilicueta, but Aspi fumbles it. That will be a foul on the Chelsea left back. West Brom will be able to clear their lines once again. So 67 minutes on the clock now. Every minute passing brings West Bromwich closer and closer to a massive victory. Every minute passing adds more and more pressure to Chelsea, as that clock is their enemy here today, trailing by 2 goals still. It's just about 22 minutes remaining in this one. Here's Furlong on the far touchline. We'll look inside towards Hal Robson-Kanu, who's able to turn. Gets across. That one deflected out for a corner kick. So good work by Robson-Kanu, who's just been introduced. Wins a set piece for his side. Two players from West Brom out on the far corner to handle this one. Looks like they may be playing short. Robson-Kanu asking for it at the back post, saying he wants it in the matchup against Azpilicueta. Pereira is on this one. He will deliver. It's a pretty good ball headed away by Tammy Abraham. Be collected by Sawyers. Looks all the way back here for Townsend, who's forced back by the pressure from Havertz to Johnston. Johnston looking long back towards the far touchline. Pereira will flick this one on. Good body positioning here from, I believe, Furlong, but will not get the foul called off for him. Sawyer's closing down Reece James. Furlong has now retreated. Here's Werner with a little bit of room. He's up against Ajayi. Tries to cut back. We'll find Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi looks inside. Good 1-2 with Havertz. Here's the shot, and it's a goal! 3-2 to Chelsea. An excellent combination there between Havertz and Hudson-Odoi. And Hudson-Odoi finishes into the far corner. It's 3-2 Chelsea on 70 minutes, and we have a match now, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea looking to claw this one back despite trailing 3 goals at half. You can see the ball across here. Werner does a good job, holds up play, waits for Hudson-Odoi. Good combination here with Kai Havertz, and an excellent finish. Very composed there from Callum Hudson-Odoi, beating Sam Johnston to that far post. It's a clinical finish. It's an excellent build-up play. Kai Havertz will collect his first assist of the season for Chelsea as well. And now they truly are in it with a chance to get something out of this match. And really potentially even to win it now. The thought starts to cross your mind that maybe this is a comeback for the ages for Chelsea. Trailing now by just 1 goal. Will have all the hope in the world that they can now get a point. And if they can go on and score a third, no doubt in the minds of everyone watching here that they will believe they can get a fourth as well. Now West Brom have drawn a free kick here in the attacking third. Pereira standing over it. Here's his delivery. Headed away at the near post by Thiago Silva. Good defending there from the Chelsea back line. "72 minutes now gone. 18 remaining here for Chelsea. It is plenty of time, certainly, to equalize. They've managed to score 2 in just about 15 minutes. Now it looks like Olivier Giroud will be coming on here for the Blues in order to chase that equalizing goal. Lampard giving him his last instructions here. And it looks like Thiago Silva is the player going to be sacrificed here. Maybe feeling the effects. This is again his debut. Did have a slight knock and potentially not match fit yet, so forced to come off here on 72 minutes. Here's the throw in from West Brom. Pereira on it now, out towards Furlong, looking for a cross. Cuts it back onto his left foot now. It goes into Diangana. It's flicked away by James. Good defending initially. Comes to Townsend. He clips this one back to the back post. That's a two-handed shove in the back. I'm surprised he's gotten away with it. Azpilicueta. Handball on Robson Kanu, and it will be a free kick to Chelsea. Take a look at this replay again. This one of Furlong going down on the far touchline. Don't really see anything in that one. Here's a replay of the goal once again. Again, excellent combination play from 2 Chelsea players there. And it looks like Grady Diangana will be sacrificed here for West Brom, who now have only a 1-goal lead to defend, and they must defend it with their lives for the next 16 and a half minutes plus stoppage time here, as Matty Phillips going to be coming on for West Bromwich. This one pushed wide to Reece James. So now with Olivier Giroud on and Thiago Silva off, I believe Chelsea will be in a 3-5-2 here. Probably 3 defenders with 2 wing backs / wingers. That normal midfield 3, and they will probably just throw Giroud up top to partner with Tammy Abraham. Here's Christensen moving forward all the way into the box and finally gets the last poke on it. Eventually defended away by Townsend and now poked off of Werner's feet by Sawyers. Connected well with Robson Kanu. He has a streaking Pereira down the left here. Pass leaves a little bit to be desired, and Pereira forced to hold up here. Trying to keep a hold of this one as Conte is nearby. Waits for the overlap of Townsend. Clips this one inside to Kanu. Here's Sawyers looking for a shot. He will shoot, and it's just wide of the left post. Good effort there by Sawyers. Excellent play. Very patient play from Pereira, waiting to get the support he needed. Kanu lays this one off for Sawyers, who aims for that near post. Doesn't quite get the strike he wants on it. I think Caballero is reading this one all the way, but not too far away from that right-hand post for Willie Caballero there. Werner looking up the line for Havertz. Goes back inside to connect with him. Havertz, it bounces off and is poked away from Werner. Here's Pereira now running with it. Will connect with Robson Kanu, but his touch is poor, and Christensen able to knock that one away. Will go out for a West Brom throw-in. "15 minutes remaining in this one. Chelsea now just a goal behind, seeking that equalizing goal, trying to get something out of this match. This throw-in will evade Robeson Kanu, will end up at the feet of Caballero. He moves it out to Azpilicueta. Now Havertz. Dropped pretty deep to pick this one up. Reece James, Werner. Azpilicueta moving forward into a lot of space. Going to have a shot from 25, but doesn't really get anything behind that one, and it bounces harmlessly into the hands of Sam Johnston. Be happy to collect this one and move his team back up the pitch. You can see Azpilicueta eyeing that far corner, but doesn't really strike through the ball. Side foots it instead, and that side foot technique not really getting any power on it, so never a threat to Johnston to really beat him like Mason Mount's shot did for Chelsea's first goal. And as Johnston punts away, Furlong is fouled there by Hudson-Odoi on the far touchline. It will be a free kick to West Brom. Not really close enough to the goal for this to be an attacking free kick. Instead, it'll be lofted over towards, I believe, Pereira. Doesn't quite connect with him, but good pickup play by Townsend. Will find Robeson Kanu. Christensen equal to the challenge. Will take that one off Robeson Kanu's foot and knock it out for a throw. Actually will win it for himself. Did come off Robeson Kanu last, and now Christensen able to clear this one up the line. Initial header flicked by Townsend. He falls onto the ground, and eventually West Brom will be able to collect it, but instead cleared far up the line. And wow, what a cheeky touch there from Matheus Pereira. It's put Robeson Kanu in behind. He shoots, and his shot is deflected by Christensen behind for a corner. What a brilliant touch here from Matheus Pereira. I believe sort of side footing with the outside of his foot. That pass in the air, first time flicking it over the head of Reece James into Robeson Kanu's pass. That was absolutely brilliant. An incredibly cheeky pass. Incredibly technically difficult there from Matheus Pereira. And once again, he has been such an influential player here for West Brom in this season and in this match today. Pereira will now be on the ensuing corner kick here. Livermore at the top of the box. Everybody up for this one. Curls this one in, flicked away at the near post by Havertz. Comes out, driving back into the box. The shot is blocked. And that is a clumsy challenge by, I believe, Matty Phillips. Pretty surprised if he actually escaped with the yellow card. Pretty clearly trying to stop any sort of Chelsea counterattack here. Referee actually happy to let this one restart. So no yellow card there for Phillips. Reece James going to move this one forward. Good run by Tammy Abraham into the channel, but he attempts a back heel. Doesn't quite come off. Does not connect with his player Townsend, now in connection with Matheus Pereira. Pereira's taken down on the near touchline, and this should be a foul. And he's not going to get it. I'm shocked. It looked to me like Reece James absolutely dragged him down, and James trying to say that Matheus Pereira flopping, but looked like he had his hands all over him. Fortunate to get away with that one. Here's a poor touch from Werner. Now Sawyers has it, looking for an option. We'll just play this one back. And now long from Ajayi will be run down by Robeson Kanu, but Conte will get there first, heads it back into Willie Caballero's hands. Caballero will roll out to Christensen here. He's going to move this one forward. 79.5 minutes off the clock here. 10 minutes remain for Chelsea plus stoppage time to get back in this match. I don't think there will be a lot of stoppage time. We haven't really had any significant delays. Probably just the normal 2 minutes for substitutions. So now Christensen with it once again. But Chelsea feeling so much better, so much more hope than they did at halftime when they were down 3-0. Here's Giroud with one of his first touches of the match. Will find Conte on the connection. Conte kind of driving through a bunch of challenges, but eventually loses out to O'Shea. He will clear that one away. And now all 11 players for West Brom clearly behind the ball, trying to shore up and defend this lead, tighten the spaces. Entry pass in for Tammy Abraham is intercepted. Pereira trying to collect this one with James pressuring him. Eventually, Sawyers will come away with this one. There's a streaking Robeson Kanu down the line, but Sawyers' pass is much too central. Caballero will collect that one with his feet. Is able to play out once again. Matty Phillips now chasing back. Hudson-Odoi looking to try to spring Havertz, but it's easily read by Furlong. He'll move this one forward, finds Matty Phillips. He looks up the line. This one deflects. Looks like Azpilicueta will get there first, but he does knock it out for a throw, and West Brom can be happy with that. Able to take some time, move their team up the field, kill some of the clock here. Hudson-Odoi going to get this one for the Baggies to restart the match. It is Furlong. And we're going to get a yellow card here from the center referee for Furlong for time wasting. Not happy with how long he's taking on that throw. And Robson Kanu trying to collect this one, but his touch escapes him. It will go over the touchline there. So yellow card for Furlong now. And Chelsea will restart this one. Azpilicueta moves it into N'Golo Kante. Reece James. Chelsea still being patient. Happy to take their time to move it up, find the right opportunity, but this is not it as they turn this one over. It's clipped up the touchline by Ajayi and will go out for another West Brom throw. Lampard's brow not as furrowed as it was 30 minutes ago, but still trailing by a goal here with 8 minutes remaining in regulation. Ensuing throw by West Brom into Robson Kanu. He holds this one up well, has Azpilicueta defending him. That one poked away by Azpilicueta, but comes to Furlong. He will cross this one deep towards the other end of the field. This one will stay in play. Matheus Pereira will pick it up. He's defended by Reece James, who's a little overeager in the challenge there and will come right through Matheus Pereira. And that is a foul on the youngster Reece James, already sitting on a yellow card, getting his final warning here from the referee. I think any more misbehavior from James will result in his sending off. And yeah, that's a clear foul there. No matter how he protests, he's coming through the leg of Matheus Pereira to try to get to that ball. And I think just overeager, trying to challenge him considering the time on the clock, but very, very hard to try to get the ball off of Pereira's foot. It'll be Matty Phillips over this one. From the near touchline, he can swing this one in as opposed to Pereira, who is left-footed. Here is the free kick. Going towards the back post. Caballero is trying to get there, but instead will just let it go out. Pretty poor free kick there from Matty Phillips, and it will be a goal kick to Chelsea here. Caballero sprinting to get this one started once again. Here's Christensen. Azpilicueta. Reece James goes wide. Here's Tammy Abraham checking in. This one poked off him by Pereira, but Tammy Abraham able to win it back. Does end up with Christensen once again. Moved forward by Azpilicueta. Crosses half field. Chelsea exchanging passes in midfield. Now it's Reece James out to Tammy Abraham, cropping up on the right touchline once again. They are forced back by the pressure from West Brom. Here's Azpilicueta moving forward. Good pass in between the lines to Kante. Flicks it on to Mason Mount, but Sawyers is there, poked away. Ends up coming out wide to Hudson-Odoi. Looks inside for Werner. Great turn from Werner. It's an excellent tackle by Ajayi there, poking it off of the German's foot. It was initially an excellent turn by Werner, but Ajayi was equal to that one, able to poke it off cleanly and clear the lines for West Brom here. Chelsea have one possession back after Robson Kanu was chasing down Christensen. And here's Hudson-Odoi now trying to cut inside again. Just forced to face up by Livermore. Will clip this one in behind. Ajayi wins the initial header. Second header goes straight up. Ajayi looks like he might have gotten a shove in the back from Werner, but Matty Phillips will show up just to make sure. We'll send that one out for a throw-in. Here's the ensuing throw-in from Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi will get it. He finds Conte inside. Now it's Christensen dribbling forward to eat some of the space. You see all 11 players sitting near the top of the box for West Brom. Just the two strikers out trying to pressure the Chelsea midfielders who have possession. Here's a whip cross in. The header goes across the box, but Pereira is there to collect it. A well-weighted pass. Tries to find Robson Kanu, and he'll be taken out by Christensen. That'll be a yellow card to Christensen, and West Brom will be able to clear. Once again, Pereira doing an excellent job weighting that pass perfectly into the path of Robson Kanu, forcing Christensen into a risky 50-50, which he loses. And it will be a excellent chance for West Brom to move up, take more time off the clock here. It's again Chelsea trailing 3-2. At one point trailing 3-0 within the first 30 minutes of the match. They have slowly clawed their way back into this one. An excellent strike by Mason Mount in the 52nd minute, giving them their first. Then a very clinical finish by Callum Hudson-Odoi after a nice 1-2 with Kai Havertz. Gave them their second on about 72. Here's a great long pass into the path of Furlong. His cross is easily picked off by Christensen though. Chelsea will come once again. Havertz has it. Now it's Hudson-Odoi. Pressured by Sawyers. Now pressured by Furlong. Not a ton of options here as it's forced all the way back to Caballero. Chelsea have managed to get it out of their back line. Conte going to take all of the space offered to him on this one. It's now crossed half field. Looks wide to James. James will be just forced back to his central defenders. Azpilicueta. Hudson-Odoi, scorer of the second goal for Chelsea. Werner, now Christensen. Conte, going to cross this one. Will find Kai Havertz. Couple of challenges in the box. Eventually it's won by Bartley. Cleared away by Furlong. Christensen will collect it, sends it back to Caballero. Chelsea coming once again. Conte on the right side of midfield will look back inside to Mason Mount. 2 minutes remaining in regulation time here. Probably 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time as well. That's a good pass into Werner. Werner going to shoot from wide. Not sure he really believed in the shot there as that one bounced pretty harmlessly into Johnston's arms. Never really looked like threatening him. Johnston will be happy to claim that one. Will take his time, I'm sure, to move this one out and punt it forward. See the replay here. Good pass inside for Werner. And yeah, not sure Werner ever really believed in the shot. He really didn't put his foot through it. Kind of whipped at it instead of powering it with his laces. So didn't generate enough force to really ever threaten getting past Sam Johnston there. Chelsea have it once again, though. Here's Azpilicueta wide to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi driving at Matty Phillips. It's inside the box. Good touch by Werner. He'll look inside. The ball bounces up. It's bouncing around, but Bartley comes out with it. He will clear up the right-hand line. Christensen is there to collect it. He will simply turn, and Chelsea will restart their attack. West Brom making absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have all 11 players behind the ball, except for maybe one. Robson Kanu as their only outlet option at this point. Conte, Werner, Havertz going to cross in. That one deflected straight up. One by Tammy Abraham. The second one won by Ajayi. It's only at the top of the box, but it's cleared there by Sawyers. Robson Kanu providing some pressure now. Here's Azpilicueta into Mount. Mount cuts back. Doesn't see any options. Is forced back to Conte. Azpilicueta drives forward. Looks inside. Good flick pass by Giroud, but Townsend is ready for it. Clears that one away, but only as far as Azpilicueta. Now it's Hudson-Odoi on the far touchline. We've reached the end of regulation. Don't know how many minutes of stoppage time just yet, but we will let you know as soon as we can. Clipped pass across by Azpilicueta is flicked on by Pereira, goes out for a throw. Here comes the indication. There is a substitution as well. 5 minutes of stoppage time That is a lot of stoppage time in this half for, really, I'm not sure what exactly. We have had a lot of substitutions, but I don't think we've had quite enough to justify 5 minutes. So Chelsea given a bit of a lifeline here with plenty of time to try to chase this match down. And finally, Pereira will be the last substitution for West Bromwich. Field will be coming on in his place to try to shore up this defense for the last 5 minutes. Lampard's side still trying to find something from this match. 1 goal will equalize, 2 will win. They were trailing by 3 goals to none at 30 minutes. They have scored 2 since and are looking for that all-important third here. As Werner going to clip this one in behind. It's a great pass for Reece James. It's bouncing though. Good early cross by James, but crops up. Mount tries to cross it back into the box, but it's blocked by Townsend. It will be Chelsea's 7th corner of the match here. Mount going to run over there quickly to set up for it. You see Christensen, Azpilicueta coming forward here. Here is the corner from Mount. Headed away by, I believe, Bartley. Comes back out to Mount. Here's his second cross. Comes in tight. Johnston does get a hand to it. Here's the shot from Werner. And just misses, I believe, at the near post. Have to see a replay of this one. May have deflected off of Bartley, who is on the ground in some pain here. See this one. Johnston does get a hand to it. Sorry, Bartley gets ahead. Wow, Werner's shot just escaping. Looks like it went high over the bar. Not sure if that one did deflect. It looks like it did, as Chelsea setting up for their 8th corner here. 2 minutes gone in stoppage time. Werner moving back into the box here. Referee waiting. Hand to his ear here. Giving Bartley some time to recover. We'll restart the match now. Here is the corner from Mount. Good ball in. Flicked on towards the back post. Giroud's there. Will find Hudson-Odoi. He clips it to the backside. Bounces around. Half cleared. Here's a chance. A shot. It's a goal! Chelsea have equalized in stoppage time. It's Tammy Abraham. And we are square at 3 here. Chelsea have climbed all the way back into this match, and they are now level with West Brom. 93 minutes on the clock, and West Brom are devastated here. An absolutely golden opportunity to take 3 points off of a huge side in the Premier League, and it has all slipped away as we see the replay. Clipped in by Hudson-Odoi. Everyone on sides. It bounces around. The clearance not far enough. Mount gets on top of it, and Tammy Abraham alert at the back post to tap in from Johnston's save here on Mount's shot. Don't think he's offsides either. We'll take a look here. Yeah, easily onside as this one comes in from the shot. So won't be any problems. Werner is certainly offsides, but not involved in the play at all. And this one will almost certainly stand. Actually checking for a possible handball. Not sure where they're looking for this one. And the goal will stand. 3-3 here at the Hawthorns. Still 2 minutes remaining now for Chelsea to try to chase one more goal. I guess this is where we were potentially looking for the handballs. It may have been controlled by Havertz's hand. He certainly didn't know much about it. The rules of the road are any use of the hand in the lead up to the goal can cancel it out. I'm actually a little surprised the referee didn't go and take a closer look at that one. It's good crossing here from James. Is cleared away by West Brom. 94 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock now. Some roll out of play. Restarted by Conte. Here's Azpilicueta. Looks long to the right here. Will pick out James very well. James cuts it back to Havertz. Here's James once again. Mount defended by Sawyers. It's a half step looking for a corner. Will get one. And now at the 95th minute, probably the last action of the match, Chelsea have an opportunity here to win a game that looked beyond them at the 30-minute mark. Here comes the corner. Headed away at the near post by West Brom. Comes only as far as Hudson-Odoi. Closed down. Will breeze past Livermore. It's crossed in, but nobody there. Will be cleared far away. by Hal Robeson-Kanu. Referee letting this go for maybe a little bit of time wasting during extra time. Kanu trying to close down Werner, and that will do it. A 3-3 draw here. An absolutely thrilling match at the Hawthorns between West Brom and Chelsea will end in a draw. And Chelsea, despite being down 3 goals in 30 minutes, are able to find a way back into this match with goals from Mason Mount, Hudson-Odoi, and Tammy Abraham at the death. West Brom will feel very aggrieved to not come away with 3 points here, but will probably still be happy with 1. Chelsea will be a little bit frustrated, but also have a lot of positives to take from being able to come back after being so far down so early on in the match. That will do it, though, for our coverage here today. Thank you for tuning in to this match with me. I will hop out of broadcaster mode in right now. I'm going to slide this up. Okay, we'll go through player ratings here really quickly. So we'll start with West Brom. Let's see. Okay, so Johnston. Footmob gave him a 7. I give him a 6. I think he did really poorly on the first goal. Absolutely rooted to the spot. I don't know how you get beaten so easily at your near post. He wasn't unsided. There was no deflection. Just didn't die for it. Just got caught guessing that Mount would shoot to the far post. And that, to me, is frankly a little unacceptable from a Premier League goalkeeper. So, 6 for me for Johnston. I don't think he had much of a chance with the second. It was a good finish. And the third, obviously, not a ton he could do. It came through a crowd. He did well to push it to the side. You could argue he should push it farther. I'm not going to be too critical of that one, but I am very critical of the first one. So 6 for me. Furlong. 6.5 is probably okay. I think he was pretty involved in the limited attacks they had. Defended pretty well against Hudson-Odoi. And Marcus Alonso in the first half absolutely had the run. They had the run of Marcus Alonso early on. Ajayi, I think 6 is fair. Bartley, 7. I'll give him a 7.5 because I think he was the most dominant of them in the air and also in the box, defending deep and late as they packed it in. Also gets the goal, so I'll give Kyle Bartley a 7.5. Dara O'Shea, probably 6. Connor Townsend, 6. Truce Pereira, 7.5. Actually, I think you give him an 8. Dude's pretty good. He's pretty good. I mean, every time he touched the ball, it looked like he could do something dangerous. You know, he's patient, happy to wait for his teammates when he doesn't have support. You saw it a couple times as he played in Robeson-Kanu, waited for Sawyers to get up the field, held the Chelsea players off well, forced them into fouls. I think he drew a couple yellows on himself, set up Callum Robinson for the second goal, for the first goal, had the cross from the corner for the third goal. He's a really good player, and I think everything he did today, when you don't attack as often, when you don't generate as many chances, it's hard to appreciate players as creative as him. But what he did for his team, able to be an outlet, control the ball, be creative, be incisive when they needed him to be, cross well, use set pieces well. I think he was excellent. I would give him an 8. Jake Livermore, 6, did his job mostly. They did still give up 3 goals, but they were very under the cosh in the second half. Sawyers, 6.5. I think 6.5 is probably good. I think 7 might be a little generous. Yeah, Hudson-Odoi was a good sub. I think it might be a little overhyped because he scored. He kept doing the same thing over and over again, and it was questionable how successful it was until it was, and then it worked. Yeah. Diangana, I think a 7 is okay. I think a 6.5 you could argue. He tried to be creative. He and Matheus Pereira are definitely the creative engines of this team, but I think he was a little bit more stifled. Things just didn't quite come off for him. A lot of his shots were blocked. He wasn't as involved in the build-up to the goals. He was trying to do the things that Pereira was doing, and he is certainly capable of doing them. I just don't think they quite came off from this. So I'm going to give him a 6.5, actually. Callum Robinson. I mean, that's a 9 performance. As a striker in a system where you are asked to play solo up top, try to hold the ball, try to run into channels, try to take advantage of opportunities. All you can ask of someone like that in a match like this where you sit and defend for a very long stretch of the match is to take the chances that come to him and be available for when chances are there to be had. And he was on point for the first one. Did a great job to settle what was a pass from Pereira that came behind him. finished excellently. Was ruthless with the second one, even though it was handed to him on a silver platter. Oh yeah, I forgot Furlong has had an assist. Okay, yeah, 6.5 for sure. But yeah, I mean, he did everything you would want the striker to do. Ran a lot in defense as well. Tried to run and collect possession. So I think it's a 9 performance. He did exactly what you would have wanted him to, and he gave you a really good shot to win the match. So good performances by them. Check the subs here. Robson Kanu, yeah, 6. I'll say 6. Kind of did his job. Just held up play. Tried to be annoying as he could. Phillips, yeah, 6 came on. Just kind of did his job. He was not on for as long, of course. All right, go through Chelsea here. Willie Caballero, he's got a 4.5. I mean, I'll give him a 5. You could argue maybe he does. Whoa, why did I just lose the entire Chelsea team? Hello? What? Okay, that's weird. Okay, I guess I'll just get rid of these then. We can still try to go through it here. I think I can remember who's there. So Caballero, I'm going to give him a 5. He does give up 3 goals. I don't know how much he had to do with any of them. You could argue he could do better. I think it's kind of questionable. I think the real culprits are the defenders. I think Marcus Alonso was shocking. I think he gets a 4. Maybe even a 3. Yeah, I think you give him a 3. Shocking. Like, terrible in possession, didn't do anything, was being dribbled by, couldn't win headers, knocked one down for the enemy team. Yeah, 3. Thiago Silva gets a 4. Didn't have much to do in offense, seemed a little unsure of himself, wasn't quite fit yet, made that horrible mistake. Christensen, 7. Despite giving up 3 goals, he's involved with none of them. And he absolutely picked off a ton of passes, was the only Chelsea defender that could hold their head high, and while the rest of his teammates are fumbling and bumbling around him, he is keeping a cool head and trying to keep them in the match. So I'm going to give Christensen a 7. I'm going to give Reece James a 6.5. He had a couple of really nice balls in that Tammy Abraham should have done better with in the first half. Did pick up a pretty bad yellow at one point. I think his defensive side of the game was a little suspect today, particularly on the third goal where he completely falls asleep and holds Bartley on sides. But did offer some good stuff on the attack again. So 6.5 for him. Kovacic, 4, gets subbed off. That's probably why. Conte, 5.5. Did his job okay, but considering they shipped 3 and he didn't have that much really work to do, I don't think he was that influential in the match. Then we'll say Mount probably gets an 8. Was trying to be industrious, was not very successful in the first half, but gets the shot that changes everything, right? He comes inside, gets that shot, and from that point on, he's pretty influential. So I think 7.5 or 8, you could make an argument for. I'll give him an 8. Werner, 6.5, 6, probably a 6. I mean, he wasn't super involved in anything, really. Held up play pretty well, tried his best, but you can't really argue he had a huge impact on the match. Certainly more peripheral to some of the other Chelsea attackers. We'll go Havertz, 6.5. He gets a 7 because he assists the Hudson-Odoi goal. Other than that, pretty similar to Werner, where he's kind of peripheral. But I do think in the first half, even when they were bad, he's doing a good job picking up the ball in spaces in between the defensive and midfield line. He wasn't necessarily turning every time he got it, or being. Sometimes he had to play back, but I think he was picking his spots pretty nicely. It looked like he had a good eye for where he should be. So I think this was a better performance for him, and he does get that assist. So we'll give him that one as well. Then Tammy Abraham. Oh, this is an interesting one. So 6.5. Because he wasted every chance he got in the first half and was bad. Wasn't dropping in, wasn't holding possession, wasn't doing anything right. Didn't do a ton right in the second half. And then voila, he's there for the tap-in on 93 minutes. What an evening. So you got to give him credit for being there and scoring the goal. He did do a little bit better, particularly when he was partnered with Giroud, I think. But can't ignore how wasteful he was in the first half. Substitutes, Azpilicueta, 6.5 was solid. Certainly didn't make any dumb mistakes like some of his other teammates did, and generally I think was helpful to the team. Callum Hudson-Odoi, 8.5. Was driving at defenders, was asking questions of West Brom, and while he kept doing the same thing over and over again, it was effective a decent amount of times, and eventually broke in for that goal, which was super important, taken very well. So yeah, 8.5 I'll give to Hudson-Odoi. And I'm blanking on who their last substitution was, or if they had one. Hudson-Odoi came on. Azpilicueta came on. Oh, Giroud came on. 6. He didn't really touch the ball that much, so you can't really, almost like an NA basically. But yeah, that'll wrap it up. What an exciting match. That is not what I expected when I was going to cast this match today. So pretty excited. I got to call a 6-goal match, and some of those goals were pretty nice. So thanks again for joining me here today, everyone. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll be back on tomorrow. I was going to do the Leicester Man City game. I may end up watching that with friends, so we'll see. Keep an eye on my Twitch schedule. If you go to my Twitch channel and check up the schedule tab, I will update that tonight depending on which match I select, but I will be back tomorrow and then again on Monday for Arsenal-Liverpool. So hopefully see you tuning in then, and other than that, have a wonderful day.